Sorry about that.
I've got the noise reduction on OBS, but I don't know how else I'd be able to adjust it.
Was there some background noise?
I'm stupid.
There was. At least on.
I think it was the gate not closing. Kind of like right now.
The threshold might be too low.
Gotcha. Hopefully it's nothing too crazy. Let's see if this helps it out.
Pretty much good to go.
Let me double check my audio.
Pretty much good to go.
Ooh. Why is everything doubled up? Oh god.
Yeah, that was a little weird. That sound also came through my TV.
The only thing I can guess, although that doesn't really make sense because you guys should be muted. No audio. Silence. Alright, let's try again. Hey, hello. Hey, hello. Okay. Magnum, say something real quick.
Something real quick.
Magnum, say something real quick.
Something real quick.
Okay, good. Yeah, for whatever reason, you guys aren't muted yet, and then I had to go in my other thing and say no audio again, so we're good. It was just coming in through the browser.
Okay, I'm good. I set out my sister find something.
Ooh, that noise gate.
Okay, everybody good?
Yeah, I'm good.
Yeah, but I'm ready on mine.
Okay, here we go. Marker. Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome to another episode of Downtime in the Hangar, where we talk about all things GBO2 and definitely Tangent. Today I'm joined by Gustav the 13th.
Yep.
And Gaming Emblem.
Howdy, howdy.
So guys, how's your past month been? And some change.
It's been long. Actually, yeah, it's been a hot minute since we've done stuff like this. So mostly just keeping it with GBO2. G Generation Genesis is come and gone at this point. We're doing Judgment finally after it's been put off for like 3 games in a row. So that's been fun. Outside of that, we did climb matches this morning. We placed top 100 at the very least. Still trying to keep up with stuff like that. What about you guys?
My stuff has been pretty straightforward. Just working. I've been honestly there've been a lot of events going on in the area / town over the past few weekends. Like there was an event at the fairgrounds called Taste of Northwest. On top of just like various events where they call in like food trucks and just have beer gardens and stuff. So I've been partaking on those during the weekend. There's actually one going on right now. There's a antique car show going on in town right now. So besides the usual train activity, you may hear loud car noises today. It started at 6, which is 30 minutes ago since we started. But there's a lot of stuff going on. But they have like food trucks and good food. So to my to my detriment, sometimes I'll go out and get some stuff and then be under the weather for like hours because fried foods don't agree with me as well as they used to anymore. But that aside, though, video game wise, same old GBO. Getting ready for some of the new content that they've got rolling out. PC soon, Evolution, Battle Alliance, all that good jazz. Actually had like a reaction video to the little like anime expo thing that they did, which we may touch on a little bit, but yeah, mainly just the usual stuff.
I actually forgot to add that to the topics list, but we can go over that here in a second. We can just kind of talk about that here first. I guess that's kind of at this point, previous suit stuff. But as for me, I've pretty much been doing same stuff, different day kind of thing. Just the usual. Mainly Tarkov has absorbed me a lot. I can escape every now and then, like right now. You can't fully escape Tarkov, but you can kind of sometimes. It's been actually kind of crazy for Tarkov though. The update, as far as just some of the mechanics and rebalances, kind of caught people off guard a little bit. And just found out that the filter actually works. Apparently, what everybody thought was a 6-month plus bug is not a bug. Sadly,
it was a feature the whole time.
It was a feature the whole time. Yes. I sadly am not the first person to get the video out and stuff, but yeah. But the as far as it goes, the filter indeed does work. It's just you don't have to put a filter into the filter. You just build it, and you get all the bonuses without having to spend any resources. So it's just the upfront cost. But that's been the problem. Everybody's been testing it. So technically, the filters do nothing, as everybody thought. It's just you're getting the bonus just for building the thing to use the filters in the first place. So yeah, that's pretty much how that's been working. But other than that, though, yeah, they've done some rebalance. There's inertia's still a thing. They're kind of slowing the game down. There's people been memeing on it, being like, "Yep, 2 wipes in a row, I quit," because somebody like had to carry a tank battery from one side of the map to the other side of the map, and they ended up just dropping their backpack, stepping 3 foot, picking it up, turning around, dropping it, taking 3 steps, repeat 100 times,
I forgot to get
maybe
rid of the
300
ad.
times, and then after doing that 300 times, then they finally got out. But yeah. But other than that, Gundam things. Loving the Kshatriya. I forgot to put that up. Technically, we knew about it. We just didn't get to talk about it last time, as in getting to play it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you guys want to go ahead and hop into Gundam stuff, we can talk about the AX stuff, the other stuff that they showed off, and then I guess we'll hop into the Kshatriya real quick. I'll keep it brief. But yeah, as far as AX and stuff and all the things they showed off, I didn't really pay too much attention to that. But do you want to go ahead and talk about that, Emblem?
Wait, AMX or the Kshatriya?
AMX.
Oh, okay. Or AX or whatever.
Yeah, AX Anime Expo.
So I'm just like updating our title. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, they're kind of like a 2-parter event kind of thing, kind of stapled together. So it looks like they did a recording, from my understanding, of the like event the day before they did the live stream, where they had like a panel from Gundam Evolution, Battle Alliance, and then like a spattering of GBO2. The Evolution, I'm trying to remember. It's been a little bit since I've seen it. I don't think they did anything too crazy to Evolution. They just played like the usual trailer, and we're like, network tests went great. We're gonna stay tuned for more info on further development and stuff. I don't remember them doing anything too crazy. The Battle Alliance part was pretty cool. They that was kind of like the pre-recorded part, and then the live part was Battle Alliance themed. So the panel that they did was with the 2 like guys that were working on the team, I guess. And they showcased a little bit of gameplay. Like I think they played like the trailer thing that they've run before, but they announced a new unit in the game. I think it was the Red Astray Kai, the one with the big arm, whatever it's called, like something arms, big S word.
Oh yeah.
They had that. I think there was some info about the game. I can't remember if this is just stuff they posted. I think they were talking about how the game doesn't have crossplay between like non-similar consoles. It's like PS4, 5 will talk to each other. Supposedly PC and Xbox, I believe, is going to be talking to each other. But like Switch can't play with PlayStation.
Yeah.
And stuff like that.
At least it's partially there then.
Yeah. And then the second part of the stream was just the community manager, Nick, showcasing gameplay for Battle Alliance. Did like 2 missions. Yeah, like 2 missions, or technically 3, I guess, since they're separated. They did a break mission and then the normal mission, and he did I think he did 3 of those. And then the GBO2 section was really just spoiler in the bound dock.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty much the whole thing in a nutshell.
Which actually, that screenshot was kind of debated for a little bit, but eventually it was just confirmed. Like, no, yeah, that's from the expo. That's actually just a thing. It's just a really shitty picture. That's all.
Yeah, it's not like they had any first-person stuff for us to rip off the stream or anything.
Right.
What little bit I did see, I want to remember that when they were showing off the bound dock and stuff, they actually had somebody from either the dev studio or somebody that knew what they were talking about as far as Gundam went.
Yeah, when they had the Battle Alliance team up, there were 2 guys. There was one that was speaking English and Japanese. Another guy that he wasn't really talking English as much. He probably understood some stuff, but he was mainly speaking Japanese, getting translated. that guy left and the other guy stayed on, and he was the one that was talking about GBO2.
Yeah, other than I pretty much just saw that part pretty much. I was like, wait, is he actually part of the dev team?
It's time to abduct one of those guys as a community manager for GBO2.
Right.
Yeah, but I'm not sure what, I can't remember what his position was. I'd probably have to look again and see. They probably not. I'm sure they introduced him and said what he did, but I just don't remember off the top of my head.
Yeah, pretty cool that they actually mentioned the network test though. At least
Oh,
acknowledged it.
one more thing. They had a little bit of Eternal coverage, but it was more of just like at the end. They did a whole like everybody who's here at the event gets access to the Eternal beta. So they like collected emails, and whenever it starts, everybody that was at Anime Expo can participate.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
Also, Durham, because I wasn't there.
Yeah, right.
I know, right?
Fuck. I want to get in there because, like, it feels like that should be kind of hard to fuck up in terms of just the gameplay loop, having some like dialogue scenes like the normal games do, and maybe even some cutscenes for the SD stuff. Like, I'm looking forward to that. That might just be like the FE Heroes for like G generation.
Yeah, because I kind of like that. They said the missions are planned to take at longest 15 minutes. That's pretty nice. You know, I don't mind playing a long mission, but those like hour and a half to 2 hour like late game G gen and SRW missions are brutal. So I don't mind a bite-sized version.
Yeah. Actually, that's kind of nice too, because like a lot of the other skirmishes that like in Heroes, I'm gonna harp on that game a lot just because it's a very similar kind of setup. But it is nice that they're pretty easy while still maintaining the gameplay loop. So I'm good with that, because like I just got out of Genesis, and the regular average for secondary game went from like 2 hours to 3.5. Like, it was absurd to get any kind of like progress, because that game is even slower than Crossrays was. Crossrays still had like a lot of creature comforts that game didn't have, since that is an older one of the two. So like the SFSs took extra turns to get, depending on like space compatibility and all that shit, and
Right.
you know, the grinding I actually had to do off stream because I didn't have the dispatches. It was just the hard grinding, and that's only if you had the DLC, because otherwise you didn't have even as many, let alone like the ones that really mattered. So thankfully a lot of that DLC was also free though. They're pretty generous when I finally like got it installed and whatnot.
I am kind of curious though as to what they're gonna do for like, you know, the gacha aspect of it and whatnot. But
I think it's, did they say pilots in suits, and then like specifically there's some that if you get them, they can have like unique animation attacks or something. They're called like eternal attacks or something, or eternal weapons.
So you're talking about the Eternal arms.
Yeah.
Honestly, though, I'm not sure how those are going to work, because I don't know if that, like, I could see that going a couple of ways. Which honestly, the Eternal arms, like, they're going to be the most predatory part of the gacha.
Yeah. Literal, just better versions of
it.
a suit. Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll have to see how relevant those are. But like, they say they're equipped with it, so I don't know if that's just like, you know, saying that it comes with it, or if it's like something that you can remove and move to like other versions of the suits or something like that.
I'm kind of hoping that that's how it is, like a gacha bonus or something, depending.
But I think that'll be like the big point. Like, it'll be kind of lame though. You like roll on your banner suit, and like, yes, I got it. I'm like, fuck, it doesn't have the Eternal arm. I gotta go back in.
Yeah, and
like,
get it again.
That'll be kind of.
And like the idea of like how are dupes gonna be handled in the game too? Like, is it just gonna be, you have the shittier version and then the other version, does one overlap the other once you get the Eternal Arms version? Like, because there may be some people who prefer the old school animations, because I bet you they're going to reuse a lot of them. You know, that's kind of the bigger distinction that they're already making by saying that there's going to be new and like different ones. So we'll see how that goes.
Also, real
there's
quick,
a link to the developer notes, and I can give it to you, Magnum, if you don't already have it. Just for anybody who's watching, may want to like deep dive into it later in the comments below.
Okay, yeah, I can link that. Also, real quick, are you guys hearing yourselves twice at all?
I am not. But
Okay,
I like everything
cool,
made
good.
it onto Ninja
I,
Phone.
I hear
everything.
feedback,
Well,
but
I
it's
mean, this
almost
is
like it's coming through someone else's speakers.
yeah. I think my mic's picking up you guys twice somehow. I don't know how that's happening, but yeah, it's doing a weird thing. If it gets too loud, let me know.
Yeah, I mean, it's always kind of like that when we have calls together, so I'm not really sure what the deal is. Figure it out.
Yeah, I don't even notice
Good
anything,
luck.
so I'm not sure.
Because I don't know what
Okay.
to say on your end.
Well, it's as far as like the bars that move when sound happens, they are moving, but apparently there's no echo or anything. So on the viewer end, so okay, cool, I'll take it. Or if there is, it's
Yeah, it's just feedback within the
negligible.
program. Then again, I've heard what these guys think are acceptable audio. They'll listen to people talking through a phone if they really had to.
Yeah.
But anyway, the other thing I was gonna say too, just as far as another game you guys got me into, which if I can find the other phone, where I can't find where it's at. Oh well. But that one game that it was another gacha game. You had like the 5 people lined up, and you fought, and then in and out of different arenas, kind of thing.
Are you talking about Saga Universe?
Yeah, that.
Okay.
Yeah, I was
There's a lot to
like,
do
what was
that.
it called? I was like, what is it called? Darn it! But I was like, trying to think of a character name. But yeah, that one. Yeah, pretty much. I was kind of thinking if it's kind of that in the sense of like, you know, what you obtain to, you know, like you said, short 15-minute missions kind of deal. You know, some people that I know have a ritual when they go to the bathroom, but I don't think they have a 2-hour mission ritual.
Yeah,
So
I mean, I would hope not.
Yeah, something's wrong if they're in there that long. Or they're just fucking
Well,
losing track of time on the toilet.
maybe one friend I have,
Oh
but
no.
I think they play RuneScape while they're in there too.
I do my best gaming on the John.
Yeah, for the most part, yeah, as long as they kind of keep it to where
So I started on
it
here.
feels something like that, I'll
but,
probably
I
check it out.
typically do like clan
And when
matches
I'm
and
setting
podcast
up
stuff
town
on
or
here.
waiting for a doctor's appointment
Everything
or
else I
something,
still do on
and I might
Twitch,
break out
and
my
then just
phone
bring over.
and try some of that. But as
Yeah.
with most phone games, I normally drift off after a while. If I and it normally takes a hospital visit or something to entice
you
me
back
to
in there.
get it. Yeah.
I mean, like, Re-Universe I didn't touch for a while, and then I clicked back into it a little bit once I got my other phone. So it's been kind of nice to just see it on a better screen, and it runs a lot more smoothly.
Yeah, on this new one, actually, there's been some weird things with certain games. They just aren't working right.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. I got to figure that out.
I think there's two quirks with mine. Like the game overlay keeps trying to bring down this little thing every once in a while for graphics and whatever, and then Twitch in particular, doesn't like to scroll down the page all the way for my following channels. So I get all the really high end ones that I follow, and then everything else is just kind of like stuck. It just doesn't load in.
But okay, so anything else with the Anime Expo or any extra random other Gundam things?
Someone send us invites there.
I think if I don't know all of what was going on because I wasn't there, but if there's anything else to point out about it, Bandai Namco did host a Gundam themed like booth and event during the expo as well. Just to point that out too. I saw some pictures. DJ Gundam Evo was there.
Oh yeah.
On top of like just them having like Gunpla like giveaways and swag packs and stuff like that. So there was a whole thing for Gundam at the event.
There was also that
for those of you.
I don't know if you mentioned earlier, but that scanner, that Gunpla scanner was there.
Oh yeah,
Okay, that's pretty hype.
the anime is real.
It's true.
Okay, so the first suit to talk about that has come out and since last time, and I'll just try to keep the excitement down a bit. But the Kshatriya is amazing. Best support we've got. 10 out of 10.
It's become a staple 700 suit at this point.
Magnum, I'm sorry, I have to disagree. The Isaac is in the game and is still the best suit.
Just wait till that gets a 700, boy. I'll tell you what.
Yep.
Get that Isaac in there.
New gun has a standard.
Oh my
chance,
god.
dude.
It'll slowly tick through all those shields and buffers. And break all the legs.
Yeah. My machine gun will rip through the triangle shield.
Pain.
Magnum, what's wrong? I figured you, a fellow support main, would understand the greatness.
A great fan of the best
Isaac.
worst, even.
Yeah. I've taken to calling it the best recently, actually.
Oh my goodness.
Yes, it was fantastic.
You guys make me. Ah, I got nothing to this. I'm just.
Oh no.
Why? It's just pain.
It's because you know the truth now, Magnum.
That's true.
Oh my
Most people are
goodness.
like that. Yeah, once they
At 400 and 450, it's insane. Okay.
Yeah,
It is
he understands.
amazing.
He's learned
Yeah,
the true
exactly.
potential. The fearsome power.
It's so
Anyway,
good.
so the bell pepper.
Free.
Oh no.
Ah.
Are you good?
No.
No. Okay.
I,
What?
I would say I think I lost Magnum there, unless he wasn't saying anything.
No, no,
anyway,
he's there.
no, I was here. I was here.
Okay.
Kshatriya. But for real though, Kshatriya, amazing. The fact that which it's kind of funny though, I did see, and I still see some people complain about it's like funnels just kind of sitting there. But if you position them like in a hallway, for sure, like the amount of damage you can actually throw out. It has, what is it? Isn't it like 16,000 damage? Like you can shoot the shuttle on Arctic base to see how much damage, just raw damage it has, and it's like 16,000 flat damage. So if you theoretically could do that times 6, if you hit everybody with all 4 beams the entire time. Now obviously that's kind of ridiculous, and you know, probably wouldn't expect that, but still, what is that, like 90-some thousand, like 96,000 damage, something like that? You're probably maybe getting close to 100k if you hit in a full team of 6 in just one attack. Like, what? Like, since I mean,
pretty good.
like the potential is there. Obviously, you know, you could also just do 1,000 for like one beam ticking on somebody once, but you know, it still has a high end of like 100k compared to 1k. So yeah, I'll take it. Anything in between that for a very quick just lock on and go is pretty insane. And the fact that you could probably consistently, I would say, hit, if you use it in the right time, around 10k, I would say pretty consistently, 10 to 20 for one attack, is just disgusting. Yeah, so the Kshatriya, 10 out of 10. That's just for the one weapon. You know, people complain about that weapon, I guess, and just how hard it is to position. But everything else chunks. It's got melee priority 2. Hallelujah. You've actually got a better shield than the GBO2 shield, essentially. So I've been, you know, calling it the second coming of the GBO2 MLRS. Because I think supports finally are kind of back to that, and I know the Sinanju's the banner I actually still have up for the overlay. I meant to put the Kshatriya up real quick just because, but yeah. Overall though, I think it can handle that suit. There we go. There's the one I made. There's my custom banner for it. But yeah, like as far as it goes, I like, it can handle the Sinanju just fine. Now I'm curious when they come out with the unicorn, which we'll probably be talking some speculation on that here later. But as soon as the unicorn hits, I'm expecting some kind of heavy attack or heavy stun rather, not heavy attack, but some kind of heavy stun, and we'll see what happens then. Because right now, people have to just be really good if they're going to actually do anything to this suit, and that's kind of what I like is that it has a better. Unlike having a shield like the MLRS, you know, it's more of a skill kind of counter to it. You have to shoot its feet, you have to shoot its arm or whatever. So you've got that barrier that you can get past. But then at the same time, it's almost like you got shock dampener. And I think where they made it to where it also is damage control at the same time, it could be better because it's A, not a shield, and B, you're still taking damage from anything that's hitting you. So I think that compromise is actually way better than the MLRS's shield for the most part.
Yeah.
And then they can give it crazy amounts of health in that case. So when the raid gets there and melees you actually can just throw on all the melee defense you can throw on that thing because it doesn't have hardly any, and actually survive because you have a good health buffer.
I will say, I still wonder which what the raids are fighting you're doing. I've almost never not one-shot a Kshatriya if I get close enough and uninterrupted to touch it with my melee. Like, usually after I can confirm on it, I can one-combo it to death with the EZZ. And I can only imagine, I can't imagine the Zaku 4 never killing a Kshatriya personally. Just with
say the Zaku 4, yeah, the Zaku 4 is probably the scariest, but I actually have a clip where you like hit me with every downswing on the EZZ and did not kill me. So I actually have been using that as an example.
Oh, really?
Yeah. But I mean, I think too, you have the heavy attack and you have better consistent range damage than the Zaku 4, so I think that's kind of where it has kind of an advantage. And then, of course, the heavy attack is gross. But also,
Naju makes the EZZ feel notably worse.
Yeah, there's that too.
We'll be getting into that.
Yeah.
We'll get to that here in a second. I will say this too, though. One thing that the Kshatriya players don't do that they should be doing a lot more, and it's so hard to get used to, and I am definitely one of these, but you can survive a Zaku 4 pretty easily just by going into resistance mode. And
I rarely see people use the thing.
And the defensive stance, it just feels so weird to even use. Like, even when I tried to play, I was like, you know what, maybe if I play the general version, maybe it'll feel okay to try it. So I tried the full armor Mark II a little bit, and I still don't use it as much on it, even when I probably should be trying to use it. But yeah, it's with that kind of in there, you can tank a lot of the melee. You can even survive a full, like, souped up, low health, EZZ, heavy attack, and not just get one shot.
Afterwards.
Oh yeah. You've got like 2 health, but you can actually survive the hit if you hit the button to tank it. Like, you're probably dead either way, but one you can maybe shoot back and do 1,000 damage. But yeah, so I think that's one of the things that's underutilized on it too, and you know, plus if you can actually use the defense mode to the fullest, you just generals you don't care about. They just it's lol, you know, and the thing's so huge, you literally can just head pat anything. It's like, oh, you're a cute general, it's okay, and then you just smack them and knock them to the ground because you got the same melee as they do, which is hilarious. But yeah, Kshatriya OP, 10 out of 10. I have no clue what they could do for another 4-star support that would even compare. Yeah, for the
unicorn.
Yeah, but I mean, like stats wise and stuff, it would have to like do similar, like they would either have to give it shock dampener or some kind of crazy thing like that. Like, and I like what they did with the Phas too, which we'll probably talk about that in buffs and nerfs. But yeah, like if they did the same thing with if they did like a full armor unicorn and they gave it like damage control 2 with shock dampener, then 10 out of 10. But I mean that's at the point where we're at. I think we'd have to have that for supports to compare at this point. I think that's kind of one of the other points with the Kshatriya.
I mean, that's something that they should have been doing with a lot of these as well, and just some of the larger suits in general, just to make them a little bit more viable. So hopefully that's a trend that continues.
Does the unicorn have an eye field at all?
Yeah.
Because if it does, it could just be like a similar effect, but maybe the full armor version, it just affects its entire body. That would be, I mean, that would pretty much be what it needs to be comparable. Where it maybe be power creepy. There's no downside spots to be hit because your eye field's, active across your whole body. So you have to do build up stagger or something like that to flinch it. That might be something you need to do. And once you hit the half health, all your beam defense will be gone.
Oh god. Oh, that's another thing we got. Man, we'll get there too.
Yeah. Health parts are OP. Yeah, so as far as it goes though, I think that this has kind of raised the bar for supports, and the Dagdaw is crying in a corner in a meditative position. Yeah.
Poor big brain, dude.
Feels bad. Feels bad for the big brain. Hang on, where's the picture? I've got it here.
Rest in peace, big brain.
Big brain. Big brain is sad.
That's a big brain no more.
Yeah, big brain.
Just
big sad.
Little baby tiny brain due to lack of play.
Big brain, big sad. But okay, so Kshatriya. Insane. 10 out of 10. More of this. Buff supports. Let's go. The glory of support will rise.
Disgusting.
My hubris needs to continue to
It's minor. I love support hubris. I love fighting them, and you just know they're not gonna fucking move. I was playing the other day, and there was some dude, and like it was like a full armor Gundam or something, and I was rushing him down, and I like stunned him, and then I like started firing missiles at him. I was like, this dude's not even gonna move, like literally just like eating missiles to the face while I'm rushing him down, and they just like start shooting cannons at me. I was like, oh god, you're so dead, dude. You needed to run. Like, support hubris is the best.
Real quick, just to kind of shotgun some of these suits that we've had recently. Any that you would like to point out? I have one for one reason, and I'm guessing Emblem, you probably got another one.
I might. You lead first, and I'll see if I need to add anything in.
The Birlant Isolde.
Oh, the Isolde.
That one. Yeah. It like what's the skill called? Pretty much where it sits in the air and it gains damage, and then it also doesn't fall out of the sky.
Damage bonus.
Yeah. Like, which, correct me if I'm wrong, it doesn't drift while it's in the sky, right? So you just literally stop moving your stick and you just gain the bonus, correct?
I think you'd have to use a quick stop or just wait until you stop moving, because I think it's moving similar to moving in space.
I didn't think you actually drifted like you did in space.
I'm not 100% sure.
But
I
mean, if
play those things, so I'll take your word for it.
If it does drift a bit, then fair enough. Hopefully, it stops a whole lot faster than space. But if it doesn't drift, then that's awesome, and we just need this skill to go to the flight test type and the flight type. This should just be a thing that exists, and I was kind of hoping that was a test for that skill. Although it seems like the way most people play that suit is to not use that skill at all and just melee.
Yeah, bungus.
Yeah, I don't
So
think the game plan changes too much. Unfortunately, being stationary is never really like the best thing ever.
Yeah.
well, and its melee is pretty much better than its range damage. So why would you literally do anything
Yeah.
else?
They literally give you 2 melee too. Like this half the point of the suit.
Yeah,
More than
so-
half even.
So yeah, that's kind of my big one. Is just that skill. I think should come to the other flight types because I think that would be amazing, especially for the support Shiki Zero Type 2.
Yeah, for its cannon shot, that'd be nice. In fact, I would argue that it would make more sense for that because the other ones all have stuff that they fire on the move. If you're gonna do a similar skill to that, maybe change some of the resistances and like let it be for neutral movement and not boosting. Or just rebuff the flight resistances and just leave it at that. Call it a day.
I mean, that's what I feel it does. Really, essentially, it rebuffs it without doing
It's
it.
just with extra
so
steps
you
and
just
it's
have,
dumb. Doesn't
yeah,
make
you
any
just
sense.
have to. I mean, it feels like they could do that and just throw it on everything because that way there's some kind of penalty if they feel like before was too strong. If they still feel that way, at least this is some way to get close back to what it was.
I feel like it's
But-
the time for that having been too much is kind of come and gone, considering how
Oh,
much
yeah.
stuff can chunk things out of the sky.
Yeah, the power creep is real for sure. And then Emblem, did you have a suit? I can think of one for sure.
I mean, if we're gonna talk about any of the stuff that was rolled out, are you talking about like just to make sure I'm clear? Are we talking about just stuff that got adjusted, or just the suits that they've released since the last podcast?
Suits they released.
Yeah. My pet project right now is mainly just the bound dock.
I don't know if you got my camera up.
No, I see what you're talking about too. But if we're talking about the if you're referring to the Shrewsum DS or whatever,
Gallus,
or no,
yes.
Gallus? Yeah, that
Yeah.
one. That thing's a lot of fun. I love that suit.
Yeah, good old little Mac 2.0 here.
Yeah. I think more suits need combo controller 4. Oh, that thing's so fucking awesome, man. I just love that your damage scales up as you combo more. It's so good.
It actually, I feel like a lot of suits that have instant knockdown weapons should have that.
I can definitely feel that too. Like the DS.
Mm.
It's like,
That would actually be
I don't-
terrifying these days.
you really don't need to worry about it with like the Hymo Dom or whatever.
It'd be kind of
But it's
funny
like
if they let
suits
you
that
have it
actually-
anyway.
Yeah.
Just to reward the chop even more.
But yeah, just the DS is very similar. It would be pretty nice because you get you get a similar amount of. Well, you probably don't get a similar amount of hits, but you hit a lot. So being able to like scale up with the hits would be pretty nice. That might push it. They'd have to like do it kind of like on a smaller scale than the Shrewsum though. Like DS would probably mulch everything if it was scaling
Yeah,
upwards.
I
if
mean,
it's
yeah,
combo.
because it starts at a lower cost, right? So like it has a lot less health to get through.
Yeah.
Also, I feel like, at least for the combo controller 4 and the knockdown, like extra stuff like that, I feel like they were comfortable giving it to the Shrewsum just because of how low the boost and mobility was.
Oh yeah.
So like even though you
That's
could
definitely a case.
even though you could rectify that a little bit and pretty easily, like people just kind of got used to the way that it moves once they put like any kind of boost on it. But I feel like they would have to have something that was similarly like healed and stuff in terms of how it moves for them to feel comfortable with it. I hope not. I hope that they do try to go around and just do that on other things now that they've tested it out on this, but there might be some heavy stipulations.
Yeah, we'll see. This is just a test bed for Gundam Maxter.
Oh my god. Once they have next two.
Oh no! Once we run out of suits, once PlayStation 6, Battle Operation 2 is in its 15th anniversary, and you're like, fuck it, we just gotta get G Gundam in. Like, sorry guys, you see no more.
I mean, they literally got a mobile game called UC Engage, so they've been pretty thorough for
Barry's
it.
gonna be in there.
Yeah, I saw that. That was neat.
Yeah, there we go. That was, yeah,
I want to see the actual, like, I saw the banner for it, but I didn't see the actual post for it, which is a little odd. And it was actually just someone resharing it from, like, something else that they saw, maybe, like, in-game or whatever.
I need to update UC Engage on my tablet and check out the cutscenes. Like, that's, like, definitely the best part about the game, is a little, custom scenes they do for the stuff. Be like Alma fighting Amuro or something like that. That should be hype.
The Johnny Raiden stuff has been pretty cool.
Oh, I can believe it.
But as far as the shoes room and just that kind of skill, as far as like the scaling up, one of the things that I think is big with this is that even, and you know, where I could see it being cool on the DS again is back in the day, the DS could just actually fight anything. It didn't matter if it was a general or what. Like, you would chunk and, like, you know, it just, the knockdown mechanic was so big. It was just like, yeah, this thing is the most powerful thing ever. That was definitely the glory days of raids. The first one, I think. Well, I guess there was the unit or BD2. There was that in the BD2 where, like, two of the most insane suits. And like, as far as the DS goes, though, like, it could just one combo things. Now, unless you're like the Ag or maybe the Agu guy, like, you're kind of lacking a little bit in being able to deal with generals too well. You can still knock them over, but you're not like one comboing or anything these days. Whereas just through power creep. But the shoes room actually can, like, the funny thing is, I've literally played games and had the generals be like, take the melees. And I'm like, and by the end of the game, I'm like, man, this was a really good game. The raid didn't do anything this time, guys. I was, yeah, we won, or you know, crap, we lost, but man, that was very chill. I didn't have to deal with a raid at all. And then at the end, the raid on the enemy team being the new shoes room that week was like, oh, they just killed my team. Okay.
Yeah, shoes doesn't give a fuck about anybody.
Yeah, it's just, and then the movement speed of it is just crazy. Like, trying to shoot it as a shooty player, especially with your normal turn speed as a support, if you don't have ASL, it just moves too fast as a base speed to really be able to aim at, like, as a support player. Like, if you're like shooting a sniper trying to be precise and hit, like, it literally just walks around you faster than you can turn, which is kind of silly. But yeah, as far as the sheer amount of damage you can do to generals is just the insane thing. So I've seen it like hit 200k in a game, and it maybe attacked me once. So yeah, like, overall it's just like, oh, this thing's a monster. But I mean, just because it can, you know, come out of its rock paper scissors and destroy its own counter is kind of disgusting.
It's pretty weak to backstepping, though. Like,
oh yeah,
you can backpedal that thing to death depending on how much, like, boost they actually put on it.
Yeah, because even though you walk fast, any suit that just shoots you some and then boosts back, you just can't really keep up with them. God forbid they stun you at all during your approach, because you can't have your shotgun out, because then you'll be weak to their instance. Then you're just walking up with a melee weapon. And if you boost towards them, you do like a bunny hop, so it could be a little bit rough. It's not like infallible for
like,
sure.
you can't landing punish as easily unless you really had something that chunks through all the resistance, but you can still melt leg if you really had to.
But I mean, just the damage part is my thing. Just the fact that you can actually just almost one combo in general, I think, is just huge.
Oh, for sure.
But anyway, I think that's mainly it for recent suits. As far as not so big stuff, honestly, this week, even though I am a support main, sorry, Delta fans, of a suit that never actually got built. But yeah, I think the more interesting stuff was last week and the week before. So do we want to go ahead and talk about the Sinanju? And did you guys get it at all?
Actually, did not
I
roll
was
at all on the banners.
I rolled a couple of times, but my tokens were recovering at this moment still. you know, I had to regenerate my power level because, I just had the combat of the Kshatriya right before, so.
Oh, boy.
But, did you get the Sinanju, Gustav?
Hell no.
Rip.
I wish I did.
Okay.
I did try to do some I almost said down swings because I'm fighting right now. But I did try to do some 10 spins for it. Unfortunately, didn't get it, which kind of sucked because that definitely was a relevant suit for clans. Mostly just having to fight for my life in the new and the Sazabi at those costs. And it's been kind of crazy to see do its thing. Although it's a little bit surprising that it's not more common. It hasn't seemed to have taken over as violently in some cases as the Rabawu has at its own cost. And I don't know if that's just because a lot of people also didn't get it. Like in the first week it was pretty bad. And like it seems to have wound down a little bit now. But I feel like every once in a while though we still get those like Sinanju and friends kind of like matches.
Yeah, like literally playing yesterday, there was 700 lobby up, and just the entire team was Sinanju's, which has been kind of awesome because typically the raids are still staying down a little bit. Every now and then you'll have the Zaku 4 go crazy or the enhanced double Zeta, but other than that, like, if they don't have that, normally there's just 4 generals on the enemy team, so it's been pretty nice as far as support life goes. Which, not that I really fear the raids as much in the Kshatriya, but still, the Sinanju coming out, I am really curious what the raid's gonna be. Which, I mean, I think we know what suit it's going to be, but what are they gonna do to kind of make it compare? Because if the Unicorn is going to be another general, and what is it going to have, and then what is the Banshee going to have? Like, that's going to be the big question, because like so far the 2 big suits that they've come out with Kshatriya and Sinanju is just insane. Like, the Sinanju is literally just Rebawu 2.0.
Yeah, but the whole mobile shooting mode's really cool too.
Yeah, like pretty much it has that. And honestly, for base stats though, obviously it has more skills. But for just base raw stats, I'm kind of surprised the 700 Rebawu has better just out of the gate flat stats for, like, just looking at, not disregard skills, but just has better stats right out the gate.
I think they kind of had to, just so that it could be something that people considered, because they did the Sinanju drop. But one thing that I haven't seen is a lot of level 2 Rebawus running around. And I don't know if it's just because a lot of people didn't go for it. I feel like some people were talking it up when it happened. Like when we saw the banners, like, oh man, we're gonna see a bunch of people rolling for it and getting it more, and it's like, it's still mostly just at its cost. Have you seen it more, Emblem? Like at your rating range and all that?
I've been running into it. Like I feel like mostly comps are new Sinanju, with a splash of either level 2 Rebawu and Moon Gundam. But it kind of varies. But Sinaju's pretty much like not Sinanju, but Sazabi's pretty much like fallen off.
Yeah.
Completely. Like Sinanju pretty much just makes it like a non-factor.
I'm fighting for my life on fucking Ginny, dude. I need at least the new on this bitch. Help me.
For real.
Ooh.
Yeah. But I will say, like, kit and stuff aside, I think the biggest factor for the Sinanju is the activatable ability, and in fact it lasts 40 seconds. Like,
yeah, that is huge.
Just so crazy. It pretty much turns the EZZ into a support fighting against it, which is not a good feeling.
Welcome to the club.
So
Yeah, man. I feel like a support when I have to fight those things because I don't have maneuver armor anymore. I have to be like, maybe I'll be okay if I hit low health and have my dodge roll up, but you literally have to zone the.
it is
the
funny
thing,
though.
because
It's been forcing the bunga suits to just use their mid range a lot more.
Yeah, your only rollouts are to either zone it or if it is gonna get in close, try to like make the angle awkward so that you have enough time to be able to like switch your weapon and have your stuff up, and then out priority the Sinaju. I've done that successfully a few times.
I will say I tuned into your stream once, and you were this was like right after the Sinanju came out.
Dude,
I was like, I wonder how.
well that night, man. I was fucking dunking on everybody. I won so many games that week. It was crazy. But keep going. Sorry. This is I was not having trouble with those matches like almost at all.
Well, I guess I tuned in at the right time then, because I thought about clipping it because I was just like, yes. But it was like almost one of those moments of like, has this been what I've been doing to supports this entire time? Oh man.
Yeah.
Because they were just like, it was one game where they were just running up on you, and then I think it was right after the tilt of, it was around the tilt game where you also then linked me that clip of you getting like BS knocked over by
out prioritied by the C1.
Yeah, it was around that kind of tilt, and then like, then yeah, you were like, oh, why? Just as far as like them charging at you, is this how it feels to be a support? Is this what I've been doing?
Yeah, raids are monsters. And supports all have it coming.
But
thoroughly deserved, he says.
I will say that out priority clip, 10 out of 10.
Awful.
I will say though that shot that you get hit with right before that though was like super lag BS.
Dude, it was just bullshit into bullshit. And like that's the only reason I was mad. You know, whatever. It happens too much to really like be upset.
Oh yeah,
too much. But it's just,
I mean, but
like,
that's
sometimes you just get fucking double downed on it. It's such a beater, man.
That is literally in 5 seconds the GBO2 network experience.
10 out of 10 networking. Yeah. Ultimate in matchmaking gameplay.
But yeah, as far as Sinanju though, I mentioned the stats. I guess we go over the stats and skills. I've got some stuff pulled up so I can go over that. I guess if you have the build-up stun on some things, we can talk about that. I don't know if you got the wiki pulled up, but I can go over the stats. So then. Oh, do you want to just go ahead and go through them then?
Oh, whatever you want to do. I've got it already.
Well, here I'll go down the HP and stuff. So HP again, I was kind of surprised. It was a little bit lower than I was expecting. But I guess technically it is a smaller suit. So 19,000 health with 24, 24, 30. So decent defenses at least. 31, 39 for the ranged melee strength. 140 movement speed. 230 top speed. But again, it's got its skills, so you can increase your speed by activating Force Injector. Thruster gauge is 85, so incredibly easy to max out, and 84 turn speed with 20, 19, and 12 for part slots. So I mean, its stats aren't really that much lower than the Ribawu 700, but yeah, kind of a surprise that it actually had just lower base stats. And then its weapons, the beam rifle. Here we go. 2,800. Is that 800 damage? Yeah, 2,800 damage, 6 shots, 450 meters. Actually, here, do you want to pick up on the weapons and add in the build-up stun? Because I am curious what the Vulcans and like the
Do you want me to
Bazooka
touch on
actually
the
do.
modifiers real quick too?
Yeah.
Okay, so for the for melee, the damage for the beam saber is standard, full damage, and then half damage on the second swing. The Naginata though does 100% damage on the first swing and 70% damage on the second. The axe doesn't hit more than once, so it doesn't matter. As far as the directional modifiers go, the beam saber is standard 100 for neutrals, 75 for side swings. But the double hit gives you 150 if you hit with both the slash and the kick, over to 130. Both hits are 75% of your damage. The Naginata is all normal, so 100 for neutrals, 75 for sides, 130 for downs. The axe though does full damage on neutrals and side swings, so it's 100%, and the downswing modifier is 160%. So you're hitting pretty hard with that. As far as the weapons go, did you want me to go through all the stuff, or mainly just the stagger values for the weapons?
Mainly the stagger values for the shooting stuff.
Okay. So as far as that goes, power on the beam rifle is 2800. It has 6 shots or E-caps support overheats. Range is 450. Stagger value is 20% on the beam rifle. Grenade launcher is 1800 power. Has 1 round, reloads in 8 seconds. Range is 150. 10% stagger value on that. It's actually kind of low. It's surprising. Beam saber damage is 2800. Readies up in 0.33. That's pretty quick. Vulcans have a power of 185, and they have 30 per clip. Fires pretty quick, 360 shots per minute. Stagger buildup is 7% per shot, so that's a 15 bullet stun. So half the clip will stun if you don't mess with anything on normal targets, anyway. Bazooka is 2900 damage, 4 rounds in the clip. It has a 400 range, and stagger value is standard for Bazooka, so 80%. Beam Naginata has 2900 power. Switch time is 0.75, so this is like the more standard switching time for weapons. Beam Sword Axe, or the Shield Beam Saber, whatever you want to call it, is 3000. Switch time is also 0.75, and it looks like, I haven't really noticed, but this is saying it does a forced down, so any hit on that thing knocks you over, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so yeah, it'll knock you down. It has a large shield, 6000 HP, and I can go over the skills unless you wanted to cover something else about this stuff real quick.
Yeah, mainly I was just kind of curious, the Bazooka and how good the Vulcans would be to like build up stun on somebody, because I mean really that's its only thing that's lacking, and why I would say there's still a spot for maybe like the new, or even the I guess the Moon actually is okay at that too. So, but
yeah,
overall,
I don't think the Sinaju is like strictly better than the new. I think they're close enough to where like maybe it could be interchangeable, but I don't think the new's going anywhere anytime soon, personally.
Yeah, overall, it still has a lot of answers to things. Like, also eventually, once we start getting more 700 stuff available in some of the different shops, I'm sure that'll be the more like available thing.
Oh, sure.
For people to get in there with, so.
I guess for skills, the main thing that I think is kind of cool, it actually just straight up has 2 dodge rolls. Force Injector 4 is kind of insane. It does have maneuver armor as well, so not only the dodge rolls, but maneuver armor.
Yeah, just being able to boost, like, use the skill, be able to boost and shoot, and have protection while you're doing it is pretty crazy. For those watching that may not have seen it or played the suit or familiar, the activatable skill that it has is activated using the touchpad, and while it's active, you essentially act like a underwater preference mobile suit, so you can fire your primary like weapon, in this case your beam rifle, while boosting, and during that effect you ignore maneuver armor as well.
Yeah, that's
the
the
whole
insane thing.
Yeah, I don't think there's any like additional bonuses besides the boost shooting and the maneuver armor negation.
No, that secondary part's a pretty big deal, though.
Oh,
Yeah.
sure.
That
it lasts for 40
the biggest
seconds.
part. Because that
And
just
you don't
negates...
have to be boosting to negate the maneuver armor; it just has to be active. So,
and that's the crazy part too. So, and since you don't have to be boosting for it, it's just like if you're fighting with anything, like for instance the Zabi, it's just like lol.
Yeah.
Rick.
like
I feel like
counter to itself too.
Yeah, so there's that. So it's like I feel like the Zabi's actually just kind of got pushed out because of this thing.
I'll say for anybody running it, like if you're in a situation where you think you kind of need it, just turn the shit on. In most cases, the fight should, unless you're just like doing some serious poking and maybe you're out of place. But if there's any case where you need to rush somebody down, pop that shit before you go in. You should pretty much never have it off if you're initiating, unless you're like maybe unless you're going against maybe if you're going against a support and you have like a stun lead in or something. Maybe not to worry about it as much, but like if you're fighting anybody from maneuver armor, just turn that shit on.
Even then, with the support, you know, they're banking on being able to stun you, or you know, at least while you're boosting, not having to worry about anything, and literally you pop that and you can just free stun on the way in, no big deal.
Yeah. Which is one of the reasons why I think the Zaku 4 is so strong, because it can use its mouth mega particle while it's boosting, and it's a stun as well. The double Zeta doesn't have anything like that it can use. You have to like do some kind of setup. My usual go-to is the beam rifle shot into a Vulcan rushdown or something, or missiles. But you just don't have a go-to instant stun while boosting that you can use. Like maybe the twin cannons in flight mode, but you still have to untransform after that word. So it can be a little bit weird. Or a nudge.
I think that's mainly it for the skills. It also does have damage control, which I just now noticed. That's interesting.
It's
damage control 1.
Very nice suit.
Wow. And that's the big thing. When you combine all of its skills and what it can do, then it you know, it's all those extras, which has kind of been the justification for the most recent support, as far as like saying, but it's good, right? Kind of thing. But yeah, we'll talk about that here in a minute. Also, with that same thing, the extra part that they came out with was heavy armor. If we have nothing else with the Sinanju, we could talk about that real quick. Personally, 10 out of 10 part. Let's go, dude. The heavy armor, decent amount of parts needed to actually get some good use out of it. Level 4, like every level 4, you can assume they have the complex expansion level 2, which means you can -2 off of every one of those, and for once that means you're essentially had to have 3 on the suit prior to upgrade, 3 close, 2 medium, and 1 long, and that's pretty easy to just have lying around, assuming you can just use your complex expansion level 2. Yeah, love this part. Sadly did not get it. Please come out with all these parts in like a package for the anniversary or something.
That would be cool.
It's literally like a week. Like they did this like 2 years ago at this point, because last year we didn't get any extra parts.
Yeah.
So I still don't have any of the armor level 5s at all. But yeah, if they were to put in the level 5s and these in like week 4 of the anniversary or something, let's go. My body is ready. because this is huge. Honestly, I think this is the biggest part we've had out of the, the leveling up parts.
Yeah, it's pretty nice. Definitely is like a good one for just putting certain suits over and even maxing some out. Like it's nutty.
Yeah, I want to take this. I want to put this on the GOG level 4. Just saying. Like
Okay.
I pretty much like. Yes, for real though. Oh my GOG! Like it'll be insane. Like it's pretty much caps
Random,
out all of its resist.
Did you say, "Oh my God"?
Oh
Yes.
my god.
Okay, I would say.
Yeah, I was just.
I
Well,
noticed.
I thought I heard Gustav say something similar, but I was just making sure I heard right and him saying "Oh GOG," right? Yeah.
Oh god. Yeah.
But yeah, like on stuff like that already has like crazy resist and like all of its resist, like yeah, like that part would be amazing on that thing level 4. But other than that, like there's a lot of suits that can just make use of it. There's a lot of supports that can actually use this because you normally have an okay amount of close range that you're not using already. So rather than health, I would take 10 and all resist. Easy. Like the difference in parts is 5 speed, which you're already slow as all get out anyway. I'll trade that.
Yeah.
Or you gain 1,200 health, I think is the new model frame level 2. So most of the supports have okay HP, and you could use this at a low cost. That's my thing, is low cost level 4s can actually use this. I could actually put this on the Zaku Cannon level 4 and actually make use of this part, which is insane. But actually maybe not the level 4. I actually would have to go look at that. I know for sure the level 6, but that's kind of pushing it a little bit there. But that is an okay example for supports anyway. Like there's a lot of lower stuff around the 300, 400 range that you could actually make use. And probably, for Noob Sama, the GM cannon as well. Yeah.
I feel like he
but other
got the
than that,
part. I'm pretty sure he's been putting it on some other stuff just to like max out things that make him even chunkier, which has been hilarious.
But yeah, if we have nothing else with the Sinanju, I kind of forgot about this, but Char's Gelgoog was also a thing that came out.
Did you guys go for it? I mean, it was already with a pack. It's usually how to get you, but I actually don't mind the discounted stuff, so.
This time I did not, but mainly it's just, unless I'm forgetting something, it was just a Gelgoog that is a raid, that has the Gan Beam Saber because it only turns on one Naginata, and it has EX boost.
Yeah, the EX boost is neat. The Naginata single blade downswing is gross on that suit just as it is on the Gan. I wouldn't say maybe the same rate of grossness, but still pretty fun. My bigger thing is that even though it does have the EX boost, its reactiveness is, it's ultimately still a Gelgoog. You can get some really smooth combos in there, but it feels a little easy to interrupt in some cases. And I definitely, after like the first week, haven't seen it as much.
Yeah, I saw it in the wild a couple of times.
I think the big downside is like you're real all in on an initial stun setup. Afterwards, like if you miss that like you already have Gogu beam rifle charge problems, but when you miss that shot, you're just like flailing around.
Yeah, there's no alternative, and like I really wish that they would have given the grenades more build up, so you could do like grenade into rifle shot, and at least save yourself the trouble that way. That would have been nice. I don't know if they just didn't want to bother because of it, potentially changing things for other suits that had those grenades, but like they could have. I would have rather them have just made a different one then, if that was going to be the case, if that was going to be an issue.
It could just be a low cost thing. I did not get it. I initially bought the discounted 31 pack because I didn't realize there were 2 at the time. I was like, Oh, okay. It's
Well,
cheaper,
actually,
I'll just
that's
buy
something to
this.
talk about too, because at least for me, when I was looking through the PS5 client, like the English PS5 client, I couldn't see it.
Hmm.
Asian saw
I
it
had to go
because
through
he
the
was doing the
website.
JP client, and yeah, most people are like, I just do it through PSN. Like, I usually just don't look through it on the console itself. But yeah, I thought that was a little strange. I don't know if that ever got remedied, or if most people just didn't bother and look through it through the suit, so they just didn't touch it. But like, yeah,
Hmm.
still, it's
Yeah, it's a good
attainable.
question, I'm not sure. Is it still available? Or is it already gone?
I would assume it's gone by now. I haven't really looked since I got it.
But yeah.
Hmm.
It
Let's see
did
if I
come
can
with the
find it.
anniversary stuff, so technically that's still going.
Yeah, because they're still doing the free, they're still doing free single spins for GBO, not GBO2, just Battle Operation as a franchise, or as a series, I should say.
Yeah, so Battle Operation Anniversary, not Battle Operation 2. Which has been one of the confusing parts about this month.
I was trying to find it real quick, don't mind me.
So let's see, real quick. I guess the next suit we can talk about, Clan Ranked, is also another suit.
Yep.
The
and
Zaku Mariner.
another Wawa suit.
So it is a support, 400. Emblem, if you have the build-up stun, and if we can get a confirmation on the Heat Rod being a normal stun rather than heavy.
Yep, it is normal.
Yeah, so that's... I was trying to look for a quick video to show that. But yeah, normal stun, and then just the build-up stun of the sub-weapons, because we do have the enhanced sub-rock gun, which is the same one that was on the... not the Zaku Marine, but the Zaku Diver. So it does have that, which is pretty awesome.
Define enhance considering its stun threshold, but I mean, for support, having the extra damage, I'm sure, is just overall better.
Just as a quick note, too, the Char's Gogu package is still in the store.
Okay, cool.
So yeah, if you have the...
I don't have that one. Give me just a second. What's the cost again?
400.
So back to back, that's the other thing. Back to back,
That's the Mariner, right?
Marine
Yeah.
suits. So we had the Diver, and now we have the Mariner.
Again, what is the build-up for the actual sub-rock enhanced again?
17%.
Okay, yeah.
What is it on the regular? Because it feels like it's not quite
On
as
regular, it's
crazy.
like 35.
Yeah, like it also has more ammo though, to be fair, but still.
Yeah.
Let's see. I guess it uses blow or whatever. It's blow enhanced. The heat rod, the magnet Hawken, is 1600. No jamming effect. It is considered a melee though, at the very least, so it will stop a rushing raid if they're just like walking up at you, which I think is the most relevant thing about it. Like,
Pretty much.
it sucks to be a support. You got to pay your support tax. No heavy stun for you, but at least if they're just rushing you down, you just hit them with that thing, and you could probably follow up with a melee afterwards, depending on how much rigidity you have or how committed you have to be. But support should be used to that. So
You also have the stun from the sub-rock and your missiles, hopefully. They fire pretty well, is the thing that I mainly looked up when watching them. It's just, what is the sub-weapon missile buildup? That's my question. The damage
so the
seems fine.
shoulders, yeah, the shoulders are 10%, but they do cause flinch, and you can use it while boosting.
What's
and
the other
while-
ones?
The back sub-rock launcher is 35%.
Oh,
And you
So
can
it
use
is
it while
big,
boosting and moving, and it also causes flinch.
now I'm there. I think those are a little bit more awkward to use, but still, 35% is huge.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Yeah,
looking at the worst case scenario, it's you know, from like if you're a missile player and you can hit something with, say, the Dovenwolf's missiles, you can pretty much use any missile in the game. So, yeah. Overall, they're not the worst missiles, but they're pretty solid. Damage is nice too, 500 per missile. So you can spam all these out real quick, get a stun. Then if the raid's still approaching you, you know, maybe heat rod them and then downswing and run, repeat. So you actually do have a pretty good combo to deal with a raid that's chasing you down. Especially if you can get rid of their dodge roll with the build-up stun prior to them getting close enough. But yeah, actually, yeah, that's pretty nice. Pretty good suit, actually. A bit slow with 115 movement and 165 top speed, but defenses are pretty alright. 15, 15, 12, 15,000 health. You know, not bad. Decent range and melee strength, 30 and 10. So, support-wise, not bad. And again, it's a actual aqua suit, so we finally got something at 400 that's not just the angry elephant toddler, you know?
Yeah, it's nice to have a water suit for the support.
Honestly, it's literally, if I was playing water, I would just use the Isaac. I kind of hate mentioning that now.
Pain.
But yeah, no, but for real though, Isaac was my go-to just because you need some kind of radar underwater, and if it isn't the Juagu, the Isaac is pretty much your only other option. I mean, you could do damage, let's say, you know, Dom Barrage or whatever, but that's literally all you're doing. You're not providing the main support role of being like, here's their health bars, go kill that guy that's low. So, yeah, which is essentially what the Isaac allows you to do. I guess you could technically do the camera, what is it, the camera Gelgoog? Maybe?
No.
I mean, the suit's still bad, but like, as far as like the radar, like, I don't know. It's an idea.
Oh, I don't know. Like, I'm not knocking the health bar thing, but I still feel like the main function of the support is
You still have the ODL in
output.
General on most other supports, so like.
But you still get like Goose was saying, data link and stuff like that while you're underwater with the aquatics, right? Or is it reduced? I can't really remember how it works.
Well, that's what I'm saying. You with the aquatics, you do get that.
Well, yeah, but what with the non-aquatics? Do you still have it, or is it reduced
No.
underwater?
It's pretty much nothing. Like,
okay,
which is why some people will try to justify it with that for the ping, but like,
right.
Like you pretty much have nothing, and everything's pretty much a stealth suit. So that's the other reason why I would say it's viable, because you're also a stealth suit in the Isaac.
But it's fine because BB pretty much took those suits off of rotation, or those maps off rotation anyway, so it doesn't even matter.
Yeah, pretty much. Like, I've seen it maybe like 5 times. Like, I could literally count it at least on both hands in like the past month. Let's see. But yeah, Zaku Mariner, anything else with that?
On the roof. No, I'm still hoping to get it. Like, as long as we can place in there. There's 1 or 2 videos that are circulating from people who've gotten it through top 3, and this was the first top 10 this weekend. So there are some videos in circulation. Hopefully, as people start getting it more, we'll see a bit more coverage on it as well. But it seems alright. Definitely has the output. I don't know if it's really going to be replacing anything at its cost, but you could do worse.
Yeah, you could be playing a Juagu, Isaac, or Don Barrage. So,
Oh god,
you know.
it's a lot of bad choices at its cost range.
Joagu,
But I feel
I'll
like
give
it's
you that one. I'll give you that one.
it's
I'm
in a
not taking the bait.
it's in a similar position as Diver, because like Diver I saw a lot when it first dropped, and then that definitely peeled off at that cost, because like Stutter was really consistent. There were other marine suits that were more common to get that were just as reliable. Like it didn't really override anything super hard. And I'm sure this is probably going to be a similar story. But that tends to be the way of most clan suits, right? So I don't know if that's by design or if that's just so happens to be how it's been.
Yeah, it seems like a little mix of both. Who knows? If they do it like this, they don't have to put Atlas Gundam on a banner. So maybe that's the whole thing.
Oh no.
No.
We don't
That's
release
good. That's
aquatic
just
suit
gonna
banners,
be
guys. No Atlas Gundam. Like, stop crying.
that's
Okay,
just gonna be their big bait clan suit. All you wanted is, so here it is. Oh damn.
So the second suit that I wanted to talk about, surprisingly more than what the current suit is, the Boundock.
Yeah, the bug.
Let's go.
The bug is
It's
here.
finally in. So yeah,
Okay,
it's
some
really
updates, yeah.
cool. Yeah,
Well,
we were doing the same thing.
North American choice.
Okay, I saw people like messaging stuff about that. What?
In the on the description page when they like had a little post on the website. Well, let me pull it up. I'll get the
I
exact
do have it
quote.
here.
Oh, if you have it up there, like one of the parts just mentions that it's popular in North America.
Trying to find it here, and then I was gonna pull it up, but
Here it is. So, Balnock has become Balnock has become popular in North America, and we have received positive reactions from players. So, the dev team put that one in because they heard that the North American audience wanted it. So, that was our one suit request to the dev team.
Outside of the current poll or whatever that was going on a while back.
Yeah, it's supposed to still be active, at least according to what I could read on the Twitter page, I think, because it said it was going on until 7/22. But speaking of the Twitter poll, for those of you that were voting and wondering where the Kshatriya is, it's not supposed to be on there.
Gain, cry.
Yeah.
free.
No bell pepper.
Yeah,
for-
I was crossing my fingers for that. I was mostly just doing like really high cost suits for my picks.
Oh yeah, all of mine are literally all of mine are high cost raids.
Like whatever's new and whatever's high. Like, yep, let's
Yeah.
just hope for it.
I don't want anything, like none of the old suits. I hope, I kind of like, it would be hilarious if we got like some DP store suit on that banner. Could
Oh
you
my God.
imagine like how fucking awful it would be to roll on that thing? Because like it's gotta be one of those cases where it's gonna be like each one of the past banners, like each step is like an 11th pull from a curated list based off of like what has the most votes, I would guess. And just imagine if like one of the steps is like Zaku 4S type, new Gundam, Moon Gundam, and then like, I don't know, Grandpa or the Zaku 1 GS or something like that. Like the GS isn't, I guess, terrible or bad, and I don't know if you still can't get it for the DP store right now, right?
Ooh, I actually don't remember.
Yeah, I'd have to check in game and see if it says it's what it's redeemable for, if it is. But maybe that might not be the best example here. But you get what I'm saying. Maybe level 1 Grandpa might be a better maybe a better reference. But could you imagine that? It's like oh, here's my bonus step. I'm like, fuck, it's Grandpa Gundam. Like,
I couldn't imagine that at all. Like, I don't know what you guys
Yeah.
are talking about. That would just really suck to get the Black Medea and get a Grandpa Gundam level 1, you know, not. Man, what a scenario that would be.
What a
I want them to
wild
blow
story.
the dust off of that narrative model and put it into the game.
Seriously, like,
Well, but,
we're at the cost now.
yeah.
It's well overdue,
I'll
especially
touch
if
on
it's just a plain one or if we get like the different packs, because it's got
Right.
some options.
I'll touch on that during our anniversary talk later, though.
But yeah, Bound Dock. Let's go ahead and go through the stats. I mean, really, it's pretty simple for what it is. It's just really cool. It's got one really cool thing. It fuses flight mode with flight transformation suits. So we have Transform Flight 2. So that's really the big thing. Do both of you have it? Both of you got it, right?
Which one?
I do have it, yeah. Bound Dock.
Yeah. I got
So what do you guys
the
think?
dog. I like
Sadly,
it.
I didn't.
I haven't really had a lot of chances to run it. It's really funky in the way that it moves. I like the idea that it's a flight suit that's in the guise of a mobile armor. At first I was really put off by the fact that it didn't have a lot of stun resistance when it was just in neutral movement. It still has that maneuver armor on it, but honestly, with the way that it moves and the fact that you're going in there for like quick blast down into melee more often than not for the initiate when you're flying, it's really not a big deal, especially when you consider how long your boost lasts, even when you are boosting around. Like, they definitely built it around that concept, and it's really cool.
I don't know. I think I runs out of boost too quick, personally. Like, I don't see why this thing can't have boost reduction and stagger resistance like the Bylorink custom has. Like, I get that this is a 3-star compared to a 4-star, but even the Assault has the same like
yeah, like
skill.
the Assault got it retroactively, and it's just like
Yeah, so like I don't know. I do think the suit's good. And maybe it's just more of like it's definitely a skill thing. Like, I can't wrap my brain around these things. I've been trying to make it work, but
Yeah.
it's like it is fucking hard for me.
It's got a lot of variable range and weird shit going on with this initiate stuff as well. So the mega particle, sometimes it feels like it has a tight spread, and other times it's just kind of everywhere when you're trying to do even the charge shots. So it's a little odd, but definitely it's mostly there just to slap people around. The instant knockdown, I feel like this should be another suit that should have that that bonus for knockdown because of the claw.
Oh, scaling up.
Yeah, scaling up, that'd be neat.
Oh, you mean the actual knockdown damage bonus skill?
Yeah, that
I got you there. That would be pretty good, actually. Yeah, it hits really hard though. Like, I think the damage output potential is really good.
Yeah.
If you can hit with the burst, like the particle cannon does do a pretty good job. Like, I think it definitely has the makings of being good, of like having a lot of good stuff. It could be a little bit tough. I was talking to someone about this the other day. It could definitely be tough in like random groups, maybe a little bit easier with a pre-made team, so that you can have a little bit better coverage. But I do like the suit. It's just harder for me to play, and it's very unforgiving.
The neutral game on it is both devastating and also a really tough sell just because of the sheer size of it. It gets punished a lot, even when you're trying to do shit that like other suits that had 2 melee can do. So that is a little unfortunate. I feel like you do have to lean a little bit more on the transformation before you can really get in there and dig into people, but if that's not really your thing, then you're definitely going to struggle with that suit. Like, no questions.
Yeah, because all of its stuff is nice. Like, it has good range damage. Like, if you don't charge the shotgun thing in flight mode, it's not bad. But if you do a full charge, it's just a beam that chunks, and then you have a good follow up with your primary in flight mode, and then you can just combo on them with the little claw feet that you get. Like, I think it's nice. It's just for me and my old type self, I need some kind of dampener on it while I'm flying around. Because if you're neutral movement, anything that stuns will knock you out of the air. It could be kind of brutal.
The neat thing is that if you're in the MA mode, because it behaves like a flight suit, you won't get pinged down on the floor. And it's really funny to see people like go full in, because early on it seemed like people didn't really understand its flight thing, so they were going for big hits, like heavy attacks to try to sweep it out of the air because they thought it was just flying, or trying to go for no fun guns and stuff. And two things would happen: either they would fold out and immediately counter, or they would get the stun, but they were close to the ground, and then you just had this thing stand up really tall in front of you, like, what the fuck did you just do? And it, bam, just getting nailed by it. So I think people learned a little bit more now. It's probably gonna suffer a little bit from people just backpedaling it to death. But that's the life of a raid. Unfortunately, it's all about pursuit, timing, and all that bullshit. So hopefully it does well. I enjoy it. I wish I could run it more, just because there's not a lot of 650 or situations where I'm like comfortable doing raid stuff, which honestly I should just force myself to do on my alt, because a lot of the newer suits that I've been getting, they're not on Gus. It's all on Ginny. It's all on my alt. Boundoc's on there. I just got the Delta Gundam the other day on there. I'm still trying to put together the video for that, but yeah, like just no luck getting them on the regular account. But it is a golden opportunity to just do dumb shit, so I should probably just do that more often instead of just like trying to meta lord it for no real reason. There's no real point on this account.
As far as the bound dock from, you know, being on the receiving end of the pain, it chunks, and knocking it out of the sky has been a little awkward, but for the most part, I just either missile it with the game lock, or what else? I was just doing Faz, so I would just full auto with the Vulcans for the most part. It worked. It's been pretty solid so far. Luckily with the Faz, it can't really just straight up stun me. It has to do the shotgun thing, which is pretty consistent, but when it's flying, I don't have to worry about it too much. So
I think you should be able to fire the shotgun thing while it's boosting.
Yeah, if it was able to do the shotgun thing a little more consistently, then I would be a lot more afraid of it. But other than that, I've been able to do some good damage, especially when it's flying at me too with the game lock. I could just crouch, do my big full charge, and at least trade one big hit against it. I'm probably dead after that, but at least I can, you know, hit it for 5 to 6k and then probably cry. But at least I can do something good. If I'm anything else, it's just straight bully mode. But yeah, I'm so glad this thing's in the game, and I think they did pretty well with the charge beam for the shotgun. The charge, I think, is pretty awesome actually. And just how they did the shotgun thing is really good. That's probably my favorite part about it. Like, I wanted it to kind of do some kind of beam vomit type stuff, and
it's pretty vomity.
It's there. That's why I want it so bad. But hopefully I get it randomly during the anniversary. I can always dream.
Yeah, chances should be good. We'll probably get a lot of the same stuff from last year.
And then finally, which again, it's a support, and I'm not as excited than what I was for the Bound Dock, but the Delta Gundam. We can go ahead and mention it, because that is this week's. The Delta Gundam, overall, man, does it need more health.
It really does.
But it does introduce a skill, kind of like the Zolda did, that I think would be cool to actually see on other suits that have the exact same beam coating.
Yeah, I don't know about that. And we'll talk about why in a second, because I think it was like a little bit smart for them to not put that on other things.
I would like to see it, but I think they should trade off some of the downside a little bit for it.
I feel like they'd really have to readjust it. Having that on the regular Shiki would be kind of neat and also really detrimental. It'd make it suck. It'd be bad. Because it's already pretty high risk as a raid. And there's a lot of beam punish at that cost, which is going to just be a straight up type advantage against it. So, like, it would be kind of okay for it to get in on the first engagement. It would just amplify the whole raid tax thing, or just raid life thing, I think.
Wait, so what is the...
The suit's too entrenched with not as much mobility compared to the flight mode on this thing. I feel like it wouldn't be super great to throw on there.
So... Okay, so... okay, maybe I don't know something, and by this I kind of might know what the problem is, so I'm just going to guess here. Is every time I shoot it with a beam gun and I see an explosion and I think I destroyed the shield, me destroying the coating, and it gets stunned when that happens?
No, it's literally that the resistance goes to 0 after it hits 50.
Yeah.
Oh.
So even the base resistance is gone.
Oh.
It's just super vulnerable. So if you've ever seen, there was a video of a Hambrabi that was flying at it, and once it hit that 50 threshold, it was doing its burst down in its MA mode, and oh my god, that number jumped up. It was pretty nasty.
Yeah. The Hammurabi's always had good shots there. So, like, we were talking about it in chat the other day when I was streaming, and, like, it may be a problem if it's low HP pull, but, like, once it hits 50, like, most raids can, like, drop 7k HP in, like, no time anyway.
Yeah.
So, I kind of look at the ability. You know how, like, I'm not saying you get the same benefits as Biosensor, but you know how, like, the Biosensor supports have their, like, moment of glory at whatever it is, like 30 or 25% life. I view it kind of like somewhat the same way. You're getting instead of, like, having to be critical, you're just kind of getting the benefits from it early, and then at the point to where, like, unlike the other suits where, you know, you're getting that low health activation where you're, like, literally 1, maybe 2 shots. In this case, once you hit that 1 to 2 shot threshold, your high health, like, resistance and benefit goes away, and then you're just free. It's kind of like the opposite of how it normally works. And granted, like I said earlier, I think the reduction is a little too, like, punishing, I think. I would like the suits to not have 0 resist once the beam coating wears off, but I don't think it's necessarily, like, bad in, like, their idea of how it works. I just think they're taxing the support a little.
My thing is that I think it's ideal for this suit just because of the mobility. Putting it on other Shikis would not be a good idea. That's my thing. Like, I don't mind it on that suit. Because, like you said, things are gonna pile on supports anyway, and the blast down is kind of, like, is what it is. You can just be a little bit more fatalistic about supports in terms of when they get jumped on, just because of that sheer output. But with a raid that's gonna be entrenched in purposely cutting into lines like that, I don't know about that. Yeah, unless they give it a different version of it. And I feel like that's something they should do more too, just, like, having these sorts of gimmicks, but adjusting them accordingly for the suits.
Sure, yeah. And if they wanted to do a similar thing, like, put it on the Raid Shiki, I would be okay if it having, like, I don't know, a Raid Shiki version of the skill, where, like, maybe the fall off isn't as harsh, but I'd love that.
I mean, they could just, maybe lower its natural beam resist a little bit, and then just not have the 0 like that. That just sounds crazy to me. Like,
that'd be pretty cool. Because you would still lose the extra reaction stuff, so it would still be like a downgrade from when you lose the coating. But yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the actual text in game for the skill doesn't actually say anything about you losing all of your beam resist, right?
No, it goes to 0.
I think it's phrased it badly.
Okay.
I mean,
if that's the way they're wanting it to work, then fair enough. But
maybe it is, because, like, I don't know. So anti-beam coating reduces HP damage from ranged beam attacks by 25% and reduces reactions. However, damage and reaction reduction ceases when HP falls below 50% and anti-beam armor is reduced to 0.
Yeah, I
It
guess
seems
that.
pretty in black and white to me. So
Yeah. Okay. Because it actually says the word resistance. I thought it was talking about its reduction more than resistance. Okay, that is actually insane. That explains why I'm just like.
like
Wait,
most
did I
people
just
are
one-shot
saying,
that?
like just go for bulk so that that threshold takes longer to get to, right? And then just don't bother putting the resistance at all because after a certain point you're gonna lose it all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can't
And
counteract it by putting your own artificial resistance because all of it's just gonna go.
what's really crazy then is now that kind of makes sense why I was like hitting with missiles and then I Vulcaned and then I just one-shot one. I was like, did I just with the Faz?
Death.
Because I had
Yeah,
the
like
Faz.
you'll
I was
see them
like,
just abruptly die from things that normally wouldn't kill anything else once they hit that threshold.
yeah, that would explain why. Because normally I'm hitting, if I'm lucky on a suit, I hit them for like maybe 4 to 5K. Even on a general, I'm hitting for like 5 and 6 at best. And I just literally just deleted the thing. I was just like, what? Okay, somebody else must have shot it. Like that's how it just rationalized in my brain. Was like, cool, I must have hit it at the same time somebody else did, even though nobody else is around. That was weird. Because when you just blow something up, you don't really see a damage number. But yeah, that's oof. That is big oof. So yeah, you just want to bulk health as much as possible. That's awkward. Um, I mean, again, it does have a lot of extra bells and whistles, but now that I know the beam resist coating actually has a super negative, that's oof.
I still think it's worth getting. Like that's literally like the only problem with the suit. Everything else I think is stellar. Like Gustav was saying, it's very mobile. The Delta should be able to out trade with any of the shooty blues just with its setup. I think it's fine.
It's been compared akin to
Damage is
like
great.
a yellow camphor,
Yeah.
essentially. So like it has a lot of blast down. It has a way to get away. It actually has a role in its MA mode, so you can get some iframes and extra distance if you really need to get out of a certain situation. And of course, once you lose your coating, it gets to be about as fragile as a camphor too. So you gotta mind yourself a little bit. But it's got high output. It's got some stun loops on it. I don't really like the blast down alts fire in the MA mode for the shield beam. I kind of wish it just stayed like it is in the neutral mode, but that's just me essentially wanting a yellow Rizal. And there are some Rizals that have the support packs on them, or the defensor ones. So we'll be getting those eventually, but this isn't it. But it's still an interesting look into what it could be like.
Yeah, and if anything, it's got it's got a lot of this defensive strong points of the Kshatriya that you were talking about earlier. It's just you lose it all and become very vulnerable at 50% health. It's maybe that's part of the tax for being a lower cost and having 2 less stars as well, maybe, and being a support.
So much tax, dude. Why?
Yeah, Phil support, man. You should
Just
play.
keep
You should play
putting it
good
on there.
suits like
Tax.
raids,
Oh,
generals.
Tax. Stop playing supports.
I
Don't do
just
supports
play-
on like. There's several maps that like
play the
supports are
Faz.
essentially like unspokenly banned at this point, and I don't see any of that changing anytime soon. Like supports have had to take up Haven and Supply Depot at this point, and like maybe Impact and shit in terms of commonly run maps for like rated and whatnot.
But also if it is going on this week, so if you do the 10 spin for the suit, you can get the Quattro Shades. OP cosmetic, let's go.
Very powerful.
Your cool stat goes up by 10. So
You can go up and laugh at people. Maybe you might still get beat up, but you look cool before then.
yeah. Just go up and be like, I came to laugh at you.
That's why chat comes into the streams. They came here to laugh at us.
That seems about right.
I will say that reminds me I need to get my sound bites fixed again because that was all the time. But yeah, I feel a little bit different. I was already kind of assuming it had that didn't have that negative, I was kind of like, well, it seems okay. Now with the negative, I'm like, oof.
It's serviceable, and I've had some good games that I've enjoyed in it. It's definitely not one that I would probably do often, mostly because I don't do support that often anymore anyway. But like, when I had to do some games to get some footage for it for the video, I was like, ah, this is actually nice. The damage loop is good. Definitely try to lead in with the shield beam first if you're in your neutral game, just because the wind up on it's really slow. It is. I almost kind of want that to be, if they do some buffs for that suit, I want them to adjust that, because that seems unnecessarily slow.
Yeah, the flying beam stuff it has too is actually kind of insane as well. Like I have to say the damage on this thing is actually gross.
Yeah, it's disgusting.
And
like the Vulcans on it actually have a good stun threshold, and they fire pretty fast. It's like Vulcan pod level kind of stuff going on.
I wasn't sure if it was as canon as it needed to be, but yeah, it's definitely got the canon going for it. It just might be a little too glass right now. But it's
support life, go.
Oh no.
Oh no.
This is fine. Most supports get one comboed by the raid. Most of them don't even care if you have. Most raids don't care if you have 50 or 0 beam resist once they're in your face anyway. So
this is the reality.
Bully raid's harder. That's what I'm hearing here. Bully raid's harder.
Beat them up and take their shoes.
At 0 beam resist is like taking the same damage as 50 when you get caught by a heavy or a downswing or something. So
slap the juice loose out of their mouths.
I mean, my problem is that's kind of my problem though. It literally just makes it harder for it to fight supports and generals rather than like with the Faz. I essentially just missile it, especially now knowing what I know from this. Like I could just missile it and Vulcan it and then probably smack it with a melee, and then I just look at it with my beam rifle and just be like, goodbye. Like that's super easy to counter. Or no, the super Gundam, dude. Literally just missile it from a mile away. Like, you can deal half of its health, even if you put nothing but health parts on that. What would that be?
Well, you would still, it's not like you would have a free open, right? Because unless it's literally just standing still, it wouldn't be just eating those missiles, right?
Oh yeah, but I mean, still, you only need to hit it with about 10 of them. Its ballistic resist isn't that crazy. You would have to stack ballistic resist to survive against the. Even then, you're still hitting for like 500 per missile on it. Like the super's disgusting for. So you know, you hit with like 10 missiles and you shoot the beam rifle once and it just pops. Like that is just. Like, you can, as long as you're volleying, unless you're just getting bullied by the thing, like, if the Delta's not looking at me and I start shooting missiles at it, it doesn't matter if it's, I mean, the only way I'm going to miss is if it's flying. If it's actively flying through the air is about the only way I'm going to miss with those missiles. I mean, that's kind of my point. So you can easily counter sniper, which I guess I probably shouldn't be focusing the support down, but man, does that thing...
got a lot of bully energy going on.
Well, I don't think there's a problem with it. Like, supports just usually don't have to worry about it quite so much because they have a lot of good targets for bonus damage. But it's just like with the raid, whenever I kill a support, I generally try to find the raid because I deal neutral damage to it. But I don't know. I would personally think that the Delta should still have a pretty good match. Like, I personally have 0 respect for the Faz, so I don't think any suit should have. Yeah, I don't think any suit should have any trouble playing against the Faz.
Well, I'm talking more the super versus the Delta. Like, you can break its beamer coating pretty easily with the missiles, and then you just shoot it with your crazy overpowered flat damage beam rifle.
Yeah, it'd be interesting. I feel like if the Delta's moving at all, and as soon as it confirms on you, that dream's pretty much dead, because it's just gonna stun lock you at that point. Because the super wouldn't, maybe unless you have a full charge set up ahead of time. If at full health you can't even stun the Delta. and then you're hoping that it, like, gets hit by most of the missiles. All it has to do is touch you at that point, and the super doesn't have anything to protect itself from getting stagger locked, which the Delta excels in.
If you're close to being meleeed, though, that's the only problem with the super, is that its melee resist is nothing, but its beam and ballistic is amazing. So, like, I don't know, I would take that trade any day. Like, you're gonna stun me a few times, you're gonna do some decent damage to me, but in the end, all I gotta do is get you to half health with missiles, and all I gotta do is hit you with enough of them at a good distance. Like, now if you're find me in melee range, you're gonna bully me to death, and that's not gonna be good. But like at any kind of range, the super just at least gets you to 4th health before you even get to stun me, kind of thing. Like that.
Yeah, it'd be interesting. Yeah, I think for me personally, I think the Delta would be an advantage against both of those matchups that you mentioned, but that would just be my take on it. If we're talking about like a scenario where there's no outside interference, I just don't see the Phaz or the Super Gundam being in a situation where
Phaz, like, I will say, is a bit harder. You have to get closer with the Phaz to easily win that trade. You can use your beam rifle as well. You still do decent damage. It's not like it's horrible, but you have to use your beam rifle with it. I'm just kind of not even with the super. You don't even have to use the beam rifle. You're not going to get a stun anyway, so why do a huge amount less damage? Just go straight for the missiles and blindside them with a few hits. So that's I don't know. So far, I haven't had any problem with the Delta. Has been my main thing, and I'm just curious now to see something like the like a general like the Rigazi Kai, like go against this thing that has decent beam weapons to actually bully once that breaks. Like, you got a lot of beam that you can just spam. Any kind of like the beam heavy generals that shooty beam generals, I'm really curious to see what they can do once this thing hits half health. I mean, that's my only problem. If the raids, again, they're meleeing most of the time. Once they get on you, cool. There's a few raids that are going to shoot you from a distance with beams. I'm not too worried about them. They were going to kill you anyway, most likely, by getting into melee range and killing you anyway. So, yeah, I don't really fear that as much. Being able to take a hit and then walk behind a building because you didn't get stunned is 10 out of 10 versus the raid. But my problem comes when it goes to like the generals, really. The support fights are support fights, right? A lot of times you're just literally trading blows back and forth with each other. Like, okay, I stunned you 3 times. Oh, well, now I'm stunning you 3 times. Oh, right? That happens a lot. But for my question is can a general just like, generals already have a pretty good advantage by being able to stun and like melee knockdown. I'm just curious to see if you can actually poke well with a general on this thing, because you whittle it down with like missiles and then you're just like, oh, now I got a beam rifle that I can spam. Goodbye. So really curious to see how that works. I guess that's more my main concern.
I think in a similar scenario, Delta should be in a pretty decent spot. Same idea. They would have to use maybe if they're running Bazooka, like maybe like a Mark II or something like that. Not getting like stunned beforehand. Like, it may come down to distance and as the first stun off, or something like that. But if the Mark II can zook it and then get like a hit in initially or something like that, it may be a little bit of trouble for the Delta. But I think if the Delta starts its stun loop and whatever it's fighting against doesn't have some kind of like quick build up or ballistic option, like the Delta should be in a pretty good spot against most of the. I think definitely the range like blues, to some degree. Like you might have a little bit of trouble with stuff that has like like a quick missile build up setup or something like that. But any of the like non-instant ballistic stuns or something like that would probably be like your big problem. But like in a group, I think like just mixing in with the boys and throwing your damage out and just supplementing with stuns and out like normal damage output, like this is where the Delta Plus kind of like shines.
Yeah,
very similar to a lot of the other high mobility supports that they have put out. Dagdoll comes to mind, even though it doesn't have the same kind of stuff to protect it. I think that's
Oh,
the same.
no.
I think
Yeah.
Dagdoll wants to be in a similar role.
Yeah.
It just can't protect itself that well.
It'd be cool to have some adjustments for that to put it in that situation, or like to be able to better compensate for that.
Yeah, because I don't think biosensor or whatever skill it has, because it gets the dodge rolls and stuff like that skill too, right? Like,
Nope.
Nope.
no, oh
Just
wow,
more
it's
output,
even
I
worse.
think.
It's even worse than I remember.
No.
Yeah,
It-
so
It's actually a
Yeah,
whole lot worse than you remember. Like,
yeah.
it has nothing. You have 0 defensive layers on the Dagdoll.
But it has a long beam saber. Yeah, so it's
But it can do Zeta things. That's so valuable. What do you mean?
Level
Yeah.
1 melee as a 4-star.
Disgusting.
Yeah, I just think people are getting a little bit too stuck on the skill fall off. It's really strong beforehand.
Oh yeah, I mean the
Um,
suit's good. I
sure.
don't know. I think it does need a buff though. Personally, I think it does need a buff. Like, and it might be just a skill cap thing, like better positioning, following up with good flight mode stuff. Like that's also the C1, right? There's a lot of people who, when they play the C1, they just do heavy stun and melee a couple of times, and that's it. I've seen this thing like fly at a general, and I don't know, like, you know, how much it's actually doing per hit, but I just see a general just melt when this thing flies at it. And I'm just like, whoa, this is kind of gross. I just witnessed something disgusting right there. What was that? So like,
I witnessed something wicked.
yeah, like it actually has some crazy damage in flight mode at the same time, which I think is one of the big deals. Like actually being able to do that and then turning and dodge rolling to then transform and then you hit the ground as fast as possible behind a building. Like I think little things like that are a pretty big deal, because especially when you kind of come in from left field all of a sudden, surprise somebody, then quickly slow down and turn, rotate, and then dodge roll behind a building kind of deal. Like I think little positioning things like that is what's going to give it kind of more of the edge, and tiny little things using its maneuverability I think is going to be the big deal. And then being able to also transform, and not only, like I would say one of the problems with the C1 is it does have good damage, but when you're trying to fly away, you don't have a guarantee to get at least a bit of distance from the raid, and actually being able to transform, and if you're on good health, definitely flying away from the raid, and then being able to like dodge roll at the same time, and not just instantly getting shot out of the air half the time from most of the things that's shooting at you is a huge deal. So I think being able to actually retreat and reposition is literally what we were kind of assuming flight mode would be for supports, until we found out that flight mode for supports was
heavily taxed.
Support taxed to get knocked out of the sky. So this actually having the ability to do the reposition that we talked about forever ago is huge. Pretty much Gaza, literally, the funny thing is Gaza Sea energy here. Big Gaza Sea energy.
Yeah.
Now we just need the Gaza E.
I would say anybody that wants to get another support and you're not like trying to hoard for anniversary, I don't think this is the worst one that you could roll on. I feel like in this particular segment we're like Bizarro, not like the balanced and fair GBO2 world, but this is like the Bizarro podcast. It's Hangar the in downtime or whatever. Because like I'm here defending the support, and man, I was like, I don't really think it's all that great. I'm like, no, it's pretty good.
Oh my goodness, it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was saying that I kind of want the output on the all burst on the rifle to be a little bit better. The stun threshold on it's really nice though. You can definitely kind of keep people still with that pretty consistently. But there are some times where it feels like you'd be better off trying to finish off suits with the Vulcans. Which, they're nice, but that really shouldn't be the case when you have a whole ass other gun. Or like mode on your main gun. It just isn't doing like the output necessarily. Other than that though, it's nasty. It can be.
Okay. But yeah, That took a little bit longer than I expected because I didn't expect to have
Don't you
Bizarro.
want to get the enhanced armor Hyzak though? Very powerful suit, boy howdy.
Well, I think I think I was expecting this one to take a bit longer. Like, I think it's kind of like, besides back to being like new, I think the Delta's been a bit of a point of contention because it's been kind of like a pretty broad side of like, oh, it's good, or like, oh no, the skill's too crippling, it's bad, no, not enough health or whatever. But definitely seen both sides of the fence on it.
I do think it needs a little bit more health. I do think it needs a buff, but
yeah,
I think it
needs
just
good
needs,
punk.
it either needs health to kind of, because that I do think it's negative. I do think it's negative either way is a bit much.
Yeah.
Oh.
I wouldn't mind seeing more health on it, but I would definitely like them to at least let it have some beam resist after the thing wears off.
Yeah,
it doesn't have to be full.
Like having half of the base resist would be alright.
Yeah, like maybe taking its base down to, like, or maybe literally that's what it has. It just has half resist. So like even if you take it up to 50, at most you could get to is 25.
Yeah.
I think that would be fine.
Because like
I think
even
that would
that's
be-
not a lot at that cost. So like.
And then you would be
alright.
paying the part slots if you wanted to
do
get
that.
it all the way
Yeah.
to 50.
So most people probably still wouldn't, but they would at least have a little bit of resist from the baseline, so like in the teens or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, please do that. And then at that point, I think you could actually justify putting it on something else a little bit.
The funny thing is that they would probably do that at the sacrifice of you not having the resistance or something stupid. In terms of the
probably.
in terms of the extra stun resist or whatever.
All right.
But anyway, yeah, I will say this too. Someone mentioned in chat the you also can get the normal suit for Quattro, but I mean the shades are the. If anything, it's kind of, you've got 3 options you can get. Come on, pretty rip.
I would still like to see them put in his like normal outfit too.
Yeah, right. That would be awesome.
That would be pretty cool.
And then Delta Plus level 2 got added, which is nice. I guess we'll. Oh, I will mention this. Schneid in the ticket shop, pretty hype. I think it's too late now to just go get, but pretty awesome that it's in there. Anniversary. Go ahead and do this a little bit out of order from what I typed, but we'll do anniversary first. So 10th anniversary for Battle Operation. Not the Battle Operation 2 yearly anniversary, which should be at the end of this month.
Just Battle Operation.
So yeah, what do we think of this? I mean, it's cool. I wasn't expecting to get anything, so this is nice.
Not only did we get something, but it's actually lasted a good while too for the free spins and stuff. So that's been nice.
Yeah, 28 boxes that are guaranteed to be 2-star and higher, which is at least really awesome amounts of tickets. Or I got the trainer here yesterday, I believe.
Yeah, I've been getting a lot of level boosted suits if I get new stuff. Kind of neither here nor there about that, but at least they're new. So
they did a shirt thing, which is cool and whatnot. Oh, I will say this, kind of backtracking a little bit to the Sinanju, but what do you guys think about the extra 3 steps after the guaranteed step?
Interesting.
I was pretty boo on that one because like it just guarantees you're gonna get a 2-star and a 3-star, then 2 and then 3 for the 10th step.
Yeah. I mean, it seems like the bigger bonuses aren't really there though. Like they still kept it at the 7, so I wasn't too busted up about it. It's just kind of weird that they're like, "Yeah, if you want to, you can keep going." Let's go.
Yeah,
like,
I mean, I guess that's the thing, but it was just like, I don't know, to make it worth going any further was just like, I don't know. It was a bit much to keep going because it's like that is a lot of extra tokens to spend. That's another 90 tokens to just get what could be a dupe.
Mm-hmm.
Even if it is a guaranteed 3-star or three 3 stars, it's still dupe territory potential. So I don't know. If they were like tacking them on top specifically because of how many tokens it takes to get there, then that would be cool, because then it would be 12 and then you get 14 and then you get 16 total boxes. Like, that would be insane. Like, I would definitely think that's worth it if they were tacking them on top. Like, but other than that, and then also you don't have the you're losing the extra bonus for 4 stars. So if you're doing it for 4 stars, there's not really much of a reason to do it then. I mean, I guess they're technically 3-star and higher, but I don't even know if they're or higher. But yeah, that is part of the anniversary, I guess. That was technically one of the pages here. But yeah, Emblem, you said when we get to the anniversary, were you talking about anniversary speculation, or were you talking about this?
Probably a little bit of both. I was talking about the GBO2 anniversary.
Okay.
Stuff.
But well, I mean, what did you think? I mean, again, we kind of already mentioned the pick the suit thing for that banner. I'll also try to have the links for those in the description below. They did a cool little header thing for Twitter icons and whatnot.
I was out. I need to check that out. I remember seeing it, but I never followed back up on it.
Yeah, I can link that in the description as well. You gotta like at them with the hashtag or whatever, something like that.
Did I send it to you?
Let's see. Tweet with the hashtag battle op icon maker or header maker. 15 people will be selected by lottery.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I think I forgot that was a contest. I thought they were just gonna like create a little thing, kind of like the little player card thing.
I wonder.
I didn't read it enough.
I wonder if we're actually eligible for that.
It's a JP thing, right?
Yeah, because it says you get a PlayStation Store ticket with 3,000 yen worth of gifts.
Oh yeah, doubtful.
Give me that. Give me that vacuum. Give me that Dyson.
Yeah, right. As soon as they start talking about JP
right now, yeah.
Oh, no. Okay,
not,
maybe the
hashtag not for us.
Oh, actually, also, time to enter has ran out. Actually,
yeah.
Campaign period is the 14th. So never mind. I will not link that one. Has the other one ran out too? Oh yeah, the other one ran out to select your suits. If you haven't done that, then oops.
Yes, that's already done.
That was the 13th. Okay, so neither of those will be linked.
No.
I'll just get whatever Emblem said earlier that I forget now. But yeah, as far as the anniversary thing, kind of cool. Came out of nowhere. It was really cool watching that video though, seeing like some of the old stuff and kind of seeing, you know, the battle operation next and what that, because I really didn't look up too much about it, and seeing that gameplay and being like, this isn't battle operation, kind of, sort of. But yeah, anything for the anniversary other than the more boxes, please?
It's been cool. Like, I'm always down for free stuff and like notables. The changes to the base camp were a pretty cool touch. I think it would have been cool if, and maybe it's just coming up on anniversary, so maybe it wouldn't have been able to be done. I think it'd have been cool if they had like throwbacks to some of the stuff, just like as a one-of. Like maybe for like GBO1, they did some kind of like maybe they did a banner or an event where you get like a GBO1 or a suit that's only been a GBO1 or something like that.
Like the remaining stuff.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
or,
that'd be
a limited suit would have been neat
do,
in that regard.
Yeah. Some kind of mission thing.
Maybe like a situation battle type of thing. Or maybe like do decals for the games. Like maybe do like a GBO1 decal, like a
One
battle
for
on
next and
next,
stuff. Yeah.
stuff like that. They could have done a little bit, so like the fans of those games can like maybe rep them on their suits or something like that. But I don't mind the free stuff.
Okay. Well, if anything else, or if nothing else, let's go ahead and talk about ranked mode, because they came back.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, it was just a higher cost, which is what I was kind of wanting to try. Felt pretty good for the support life. Loved their brawl changes.
Zaku Iron's 1 was definitely ruling the roost at the top 10. So
Yep.
literally just got to sit on people's heads and just do his heavy swing. So I didn't do it myself, mostly just because I've already had the clan suit. The level boosted one was neither here nor there, but it has been cool to see that suit make a resurgence in rated.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, I got it. I haven't got to play it yet, but I've definitely, as soon as I see 450 and I'm going in, I'm definitely going to